Hi everyone, welcome to our second instalment of daily encouragements throughout the lockdown here in the UK. Yesterday we looked at a God that renews our strength, Isaiah 40. And today we're going to look at what that strength looks like. We're going to look at Paul's prayer in Ephesians chapter 3 verses 16 to 19. I pray that he may grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with power in your inner being through his Spirit, and that Christ may dwell in our hearts through faith. I pray that you, being rooted and firmly established in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the length and width and height and depth of God's love, and to know Christ's love that surpasses knowledge, so you may be filled with all the fullness of God. Amen. I couldn't help noticing the similarities between this passage here and 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 that we looked at on Sunday. That's available via our live stream. For the Lord does not give us a spirit of fear, but one of power, of love, and of sound judgment. And you can see in Paul's prayer how he picks on these three themes. That first of all, power. He prays that we would be granted according to the riches of God, to be strengthened with power in our inner beings. So we see here God as a source of our strength, and that looks like a power in our inner beings. It doesn't mean that we have a superhuman strength. It doesn't mean that we have a force field or a shield to protect us from all harm. But what it means is we have a strength which is of infinite value, a strength which is within our inner beings. Secondly, he talks about the need to be rooted and firmly established in love. On Sunday, we looked at a love that casts out all fear, a perfect love. And Paul wants us as Christians to be rooted and firmly established in this love, a love of Christ, the love of Christ that led him to the cross to endure death so that he could free us from the fear of death. For Christ's death, he achieved a victory in rising again from the dead, and a promise that all who would believe in him would themselves rise from the dead. And Paul says it's essential for us to live our lives rooted and firmly established in this love. And then in verse 18, he talks about being able to comprehend with all the saints what is the length and width and height and depths of God's love. Why does he want us to comprehend it? Because he wants us to have sound judgment. He wants us to make decisions and to live our lives based on the knowledge of the love of God. Not just a feeling, but a deep knowledge of who God is and what he has done. Now, how can we comprehend the length and width and height and depths of God's love? It's impossible, isn't it? God's love is infinite. God's love is outside of our comprehension. And I think that's Paul's point here as he goes on to verse 19, to know Christ's love that surpasses knowledge. God's love is infinite. God's love is outside our comprehension. And yet Paul wants us to be filled with that love. A love that surpasses knowledge. Essentially, it blows our mind that we couldn't comprehend him. The love of God that reaches out to us, his creation. Now, this is my prayer for us. I'd love us this day and this week to be filled with the knowledge of love of God that blows our mind. To stop and rest in that love. To be strengthened in our inner beings. To be firmly rooted and established in God at this time where everything seems to be shifting and everything seems to be changing. We can know the true love of God. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. God bless.